As gaivotas estão a chegar. As gaivotas começam a chegar depois de um dia de caça. Gaivotas e andorinhas do mar.
La historia de la ocupación de Palestina y la creación del régimen de Israel empezó hace más de un siglo. El movimiento sionista, impulsado por Theodor Herzl, anunciaba desde finales del siglo XIX su deseo de crear un Estado judío en los territorios de Palestina. Quizás lo que le dio más impulso a los sionistas fue el apoyo del gobierno británico en 1917. Con 67 palabras, los británicos encendieron una guerra de odio. La Declaración de Balfour, un documento en el que unos ofrecieron lo de otro a un tercero. El secretario de Exteriores británico, Arthur Balfour, apoyó oficialmente el deseo de los sionistas de crear un Estado en Palestina.
El gobierno de Su Majestad contempla con beneplácito el establecimiento en Palestina de un hogar nacional para el pueblo judío y hará uso de sus mejores esfuerzos para facilitar la realización de este objetivo.
La declaración contó con el respaldo de Estados Unidos y el lobby sionista estadounidense. Palestina era administrada por el Imperio Británico tras la caída del Imperio Otomano durante la Primera Guerra Mundial. Los palestinos, musulmanes, cristianos y judíos protestaban contra la ocupación de sus territorios y los británicos decidieron partir Palestina. Después de la Segunda Guerra Mundial y coincidiendo con el fin del mandato británico sobre Palestina, el movimiento sionista hizo avances. La ONU aprobó en 1947 la creación de un Estado sionista y otro árabe.
Iran, no. Saudi Arabia, no. Soviet Union, yes. United Kingdom, abstain. The United States, yes.
The resolution of the DAC Committee for Palestine was adopted by 33 votes, 13 against, 10 abstentions.
Miles de judíos de Europa migraron a los territorios ocupados y se dio lugar a múltiples enfrentamientos. Poco a poco, los recién llegados comenzaron a apropiarse de las tierras de cultivo de los palestinos, aumentando las tensiones. En mayo de 1948, el líder sionista David Ben Gurión, con la bendición de Estados Unidos, declaró la creación del Estado de Israel en territorio palestino. La creación de una nueva entidad, a costa de la devastación de una identidad nacional. Cientos de miles de palestinos fueron desterrados de sus tierras ancestrales. Los historiadores describen la expulsión como una limpieza étnica. Israel ocupó más territorios de los que había asignado la ONU después de varias guerras con los países árabes vecinos que apoyaban a los palestinos. Los palestinos a día de hoy están secuestrados y asediados. Para entender mejor la verdadera catástrofe, observen cómo se veía Palestina en 1917 y cómo se ve a día de hoy.
من 48 واحنا عايشين خذل وماكو احترام إلنا. وين نروح؟
احنا متأملين، يعني احنا عايشين على الأمل بس.
ونحن صحيح طلعونا من أرضنا، بس مصررين ومصممين على أن نرجع لبلادنا.
America's defense budget is out of control.
The military-industrial complex.
Maybe we can cut military spending. Let's cut that.
Lacking strategic coherence, utterly mismanaged.
The military budget is 50% of discretionary spending.
Last week, the Democratic House, filled with radicals according to the Republicans, voted to appropriate $733 billion for 2020 defense spending.
I don't support waste and profiteering within the military-industrial complex. We've got to cut military spending.
$14,000 toilet seat covers and $1,300 cups. Yes, cups.
Ed è scandaloso. Cristo risorto è speranza per quanti sono.
The government spends $300 billion on the military and cuts back on programs for the cities and towns.
We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions.
Why is it necessary to continue to spend almost $300 billion a year on the military?
The United States faces a world in flux, to be sure, but surely not a more dangerous world than during the Cold War.
When our elderly people are in poverty, our children are in poverty, our working people are seeing a decline in their standard of living, we continue to spend over $280 billion a year on the military.
It now spends more than the next 10 countries in the world put together, 6 of which are close allies like Britain and France.
We can make significant reductions in military spending. Some of that money should be reinvested in America to create new jobs.
We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberty or democratic process.
60 years later, it looks like one of the most prophetic warnings any president has ever made.
Zooming now, all the protesters are back up where protesters are pushing up against walls right now. She's right here! See
We are very sorry for the last 4 years with the president who didn't care about science.
Fair enough, right? Trump pulling out of the Paris Agreement caused shockwaves around the world, and one of the first things Biden did after bumping Trump out of the White House was to rejoin it. And while we're at it, maybe there's some other things from the past 4 years you guys want to apologize for on behalf of Trump. There's plenty to choose from, though that could take a while, and Dems were pretty vocal about condemning all that stuff at the time, so maybe that's a given. So what about apologizing for Biden's controversial past stances? He's had a long political career, after all. And then there's the whole inappropriate touching thing.
I'm sorry this happened, but I'm not sorry in the sense that I think I did anything that was intentionally designed to do anything wrong or be inappropriate.
Okay, not quite taking responsibility there. Maybe it's only about apologizing for past administrations. So if anyone's searching for ideas on where to start, look no further. Let's start with a biggie, the first and only use of atomic bombs in a war. It's been over 75 years since Hiroshima and Nagasaki were devastated by the actions of the U.S., but not even Obama was willing to make apologies for that.
In the midst of war, leaders make all kinds of decisions. It's a job of historians to ask questions and examine them.
Okay, how about another war where dangerous weapons were used? Agent Orange in Vietnam, for example? And let's not forget about that forever war that Biden has just promised to actually end after 20 years of bloodshed.
We cannot continue the cycle of extending or expanding our military presence in Afghanistan, hoping to create ideal conditions for the withdrawal and expecting a different result.
That withdrawal speech, unsurprisingly, didn't come with a sorry for overstaying our welcome section. But if those examples are too controversial, why not start a little smaller and apologize for the treatment and persecution of Julian Assange? Perhaps even drop the charges against him, since his case threatens the very idea of journalistic freedoms. But no, what was I thinking? How dare a whistleblower expose misconduct by the US government? Point is, if apologies are going to be handed out, there are plenty of people waiting in the wings to hear them. But something tells me that isn't going to happen.
I'll never apologize for the United States of America. Ever. I don't care what the facts are.
Good old Bush Sr. telling it like it is.
You're off to such a great quick start. You said twice getting to net zero is going to be hard, really hard. And just remind everybody that will depend on whether or not we have some breakthrough technologies and breakthrough innovations, number one. But even if we get to net zero, we still have to get carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. So this is a bigger challenge than a lot of people have sort of really grabbed onto yet.